Hello, everyone. A very logical day to all of you. So, here we are with the discussion of the first editorial of the Indian Express, 7th of February 2023. This is comparatively an easy passage, not many difficult words also. So, of course, what we are going to see today is again how to extract the central idea from any article that you're reading, right? And of course, we'll be discussing a few words. So, it will be an easy task today. The editorial says stop the arrests. So, like, this is a very draconian or a very strict tone here. Stop the arrest मतलब एक authority लगता है. So that is how you can identify the tone of any sentence also. So in the past 4 days, the Assam police has arrested more than 2,000 men as part of the state government's drive against child marriage. So to go for the drive against child marriage would mean a campaign or a crusade, you can say. So more than 2,000 men have been arrested. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma has situated the large-scale crackdown in the context of the state's poor record on child and maternal health. So they are arresting the men. Why? Because of the poor record of the child and maternal health. Assam has the worst maternal mortality rate in the country. Though the state's infant mortality rate has come down in the past 5 years, the National Family Health Survey 5 data show that the problem remains serious. More than 31,000 children die before their first birthday. According to the survey, 32% women in the state get married before the legal minimum age, much higher than the national average of 25%. But wielding the POCSO and Prohibition of Child Marriage Act to criminalize men who have married minor girls, several arrests are retrospective is wrong. Right? In the previous, not the previous one, the discussion that I've taken earlier also, I have given you the use of the punctuation dash. So there's a dash here, then there is something written and the dash here. Now here you can see after the word minor girls, there's a small dash. Several arrests are retrospective, again dash, and then this is wrong. So what is wrong? To criminalize men who have married minor girls. And these arrests are retrospective. That means they have married maybe 5 or 6 years back. You're arresting those men. So according to the author, this is wrong. It will push the problem under the radar. मतलब इतने ही लोगों को तुमने कर लिया है, अरेस्ट कर लिया है, तो this is not going to highlight the problem. The major problem will be shifted under the radar, under the carpet जैसे होता है ना कि लोगों के दिखाई में ही नहीं आएगा. So वो छिप जाएगा, जो actual problem है वो छिप जाएगा and delay the long-term solutions to a problem whose roots lie in poverty, disempowerment of women, and lack of adequate healthcare facilities. So this is the actual problem. And by arresting, he says these problems are going to hide. Arrest say they are going to hide the problems. They are not going to be to come out in that manner. वो डिविएट हो जाएंगे तो जो एक्चुअल प्रॉब्लम है वो छुप जाएगा और एक्चुअल प्रॉब्लम है क्या पॉवर्टी जो रीजंस हैं प्रॉब्लम के दैट इज पॉवर्टी डिसएम्पावरमेंट ऑफ women and the lack of adequate healthcare facilities. These are the real problems. So these problems need to be solved, right? So the arrests are not going to do much. This we can understand from the author's writing. So the Assam government must stop the arrests immediately. बड़ा starkly author ने ये बोल दिया. Now, the data show that Assam is behind the national average when it comes to child delivery in a healthcare facility. They also show that Assam is an underperform on several indexes of women's empowerment. Close to a fifth of the women, the indices होता है, ठीक है, ये जो भी है, ये दिया है पूरा data to show what? That Assam is behind the national average, right? In the passages when we do in the class also, we understand the technique of prep. So the author has a point and then he gives the data, the facts, and the reasoning or the logic behind that point. Then he can come up with an example and then he come up with the point again. So जैसे previous इसमें देखा था हमने, ये था उसका लास्ट पॉइंट, a very strongly stated point that the government must stop the arrest immediately, and the paragraph before that is giving you the data or the reasoning. The same thing will be applied here. The first sentence gives you that Assam is behind the national average. ये ठीक है. Assam is an underperformer, और फिर उसने वो पूरा डेटा दिया है. ठीक है. And even more worryingly, close to 80% women were not employed in the 12 months before the survey. The fraction of women owning land in the state fell between the fourth and the fifth rounds. The data also affirms the well known theory which underlines the role of education in women's reproductive health related decision. That means if the women are well educated, right, then this is going to have a positive impact on what? On the reproductive decisions. तो पढ़े लिखे होंगे तो अपने को वो संभाल पाएंगे. दिस इज व्हाट इट इज सेड. So now the data justifying it. This is the data of the fact. More than 20% of women in the 15 to 19 age group who have not been to school have started childbearing, while only 4% of women in this age group who got more than 12 years of education have become mothers. So only 4% of such women who have been educated, they have been mothers now in the age group of 15 to 19. Otherwise, it is 20% of the women become mothers in this age group. Why? Because they have not been educated about these health issues or all these health related decisions. So the Assam government has programs to reduce MMR and improve the health outcomes. ये उसके पास programs हैं. Joining the dots between the indexes of women's empowerment, data related to income levels can help it gain more insights into the state's persistent maternal mortality problem. Persistent means something that is insistent, something that is still continuing. तो ये जो maternal mortality problem है, ये अभी भी चलती आ रही है. Assam government जो है, it is coming up with the problems, and it is also going to gain more insights if the government can join all the dots. Joining all the dots का मतलब होता है, या joining the dots का मतलब होता है कि आप चीजों को connect करें, interlink करें, कि एक चीज जो है वो दूसरी चीज से कहीं ना कहीं connection होती है, and then you can come up with the macro view of all this, and then you can understand or come with the solutions. So instead of again coming back to the same point, what the author had said, instead of enforcing punitive measures that seem to target the poor and minority groups more, it should invest more in women's education, healthcare, and campaigns to educate people about the problems of marrying girls early. That means education से जब उतना डेटा दिया था उन्होंने कि education से difference आता है. ठीक है, the women, they are more aware of their health issues through education only. So what should the government do? It should focus more on the education instead of coming up with punishing those people who have married the minor girls, right? क्योंकि वो पुअर है, माइनॉरिटी है, तो अगेन गिविंग देम पनिशमेंट इज ऑफ नो यूज. एक्चुअली यू शुड कम विद द solution that is tackling or dealing with the root issues, with the fundamental issues. That is what the author is saying. So arresting the people will be just simply a cosmetic issue, superficial उसका solution होगा. वो actual solution नहीं है. The actual solution क्या होगा? When you tackle or address the basic question, the basic problems there, and when you cater to those problems, you resolve those problems, and that is the fundamental use of it, that you have to educate the people. एजुकेशन से काफी फर्क पड़ेगा. उसका डेटा ऑथर दे चुका है सेकंड पैसेज में, पैराग्राफ में. Right. So coming up with the main ideas as I've been doing now here. So past 4 days में here they arrested more than 2,000 men. That was one point, and the worst maternal mortality rate. ये एक डेटा था. According to the author, criminalizing men will be wrong. Why? Because several areas are retrospective. Retrospective यानी past से related है. ठीक है. Problem का root ये रहा. They lack adequate healthcare facilities, disempowerment of women, and poverty. That is the basic reason of why the maternal mortality rate is reducing, or it is the worst in Assam. So, arresting the men will not be a solution, so stop the arrest. Author has stated this point in the very first paragraph. Coming up with a discussion here, in detail. He says that see, Assam has been an underperformer, and why? What is the reason of that? Here, he gives all the data, and it shows that the fraction of women owning land in the state fell between fourth and the fifth rounds. That means education is going to help them. Disempowerment is the reason of Assam becoming an underperformer. बाकी ये जो सब है ये सब डेटा दिया है उन्होंने ये प्रूव करने के लिए कि असम अंडर परफॉर्मर क्यों है. उसका एक और रास्ता निकलता है कि उन्हें एजुकेट किया जाए. तो यहाँ पे उसने डेटा दिया कि एजुकेशन से हाउ द पीपल आर बीइंग हेल्प्ड. देन ही कम्स विथ हिज major idea that in order to reduce MMR, you come up with programs, you understand understand that enforcing the punitive measures is not required or it is not enough. What Assam should do is invest more in the education, because in the second paragraph also it had stated in the last sentence that education is bringing a change. So spend more on education, healthcare, and campaigns to educate the people about the problems of marrying girls early. Here comes the point. Okay. In the second paragraph, this was the point of education. And in the first paragraph, the last sentence becomes the point that stop the arrests immediately. तो तीनों पैराग्राफ्स की एंड में, अच्छा, आई एम नॉट स्टेटिंग कि हर पैराग्राफ के एंड में हमेशा पॉइंट मिल जाएगी. नो, understand the author's way of writing, right? His style of writing would be such that in the paragraph, he might start with the point that, see, this is what I'm going to tell you, or he might end with the point that, see, this is what I have said, right? And therefore, when I give you the technique of reading and understanding, तो prep हम apply कर सकते हैं कि यहाँ शुरू में और end में major point को indicate किया जाता है. I'm not giving you a fact, ऐसा हमेशा नहीं है. Mostly, you need to focus of where the author is going to place his major idea. It would be here, it would be at the end, it would come in the middle, but then you need to understand the flow here if it is a very lengthy paragraph. If it's a small average length paragraph, 7 to 8 lines, then it will be easy for you to identify, right? So here we have the major point that Assam government's mass arrest for child marriage are no solution. ये हो गया, उसने कहा था stop the arrest. क्या करना चाहिए? It should address the deficits in women's empowerment. The deficits क्या हो गया? Something that is lacking. अब उनके empowerment में क्या है? Healthcare lacking है, education हो सकता है, ठीक है? This is what they need. Here. So deficit is shortage, dearth, scarcity, and paucity. सभी को shortage और scarcity तो पता है, but you can write two better words, that is dearth and paucity. Wielding power usually is used. Wielding influence आता है, wielding power आता है. मैं plus के sign के साथ मतलब ये एक collocation हो जाता है, the way how to remember the words. So they were wielding power over the oppressed people, or wielding influence over the society, right? So that means using. Simplest word using है, applying है. Exercising, हम जो जिम में जाके exercising करते हैं वो नहीं. Exercising का मतलब होता है use करना. To exercise your powers, that is to wield your powers. And of course, employing, employer या employee से related नहीं है. Employee are they using or working. So the same words can be used in different contexts. Retrospective, we can understand retro is back or past and spect is to see. ठीक है, तो past का जब हम देखेंगे तो वो retrospective हो गया. तो review, देखो आर का यूज भी वैसे ही आता है. आर का मतलब होता है पलट के देखना, reflect, review. Under the radar is undetected, hidden. Disempowerment is debilitating, weakening, emasculating. Debilitating word we have done. Weakening is the simplest word. Joining the dots at first, you can understand connecting various things. Persistent is insistent. A dogged, आप word लिख सकते हो. If you have not read this word, you can write it. Tenacious, tenacity. Mind is tenacious. or the tenacity of the mind, this is used many times. तो it is like किसी भी चीज के पीछे लगे रहो, ठीक है, तो वो अनटायरिंग हो जाता है. और प्यूनिटिव मेजर्स एक साथ यूज कर सकते हो तुम. प्यूनिटिव को पन और पनिश से रिलेट कर दो, सो यू विल बी एबल टू रिमेम्बर इट. तो पनिश से हमारे पास पीनल वर्ड भी आ जाता है, इंडियन पिनल कोड के हिसाब से, आईपीसी के हिसाब से, राइट. सो दे आर द प्यूनिटिव मेजर्स, so you can relate these words. And retributive is the same thing, punishing, punishment, right. So that's all for today. Thank you. And I hope, apart from all this, you are reading the rest of the editorials. Also, on the same page, you should read the second as well as the third. Any day, I'll take up the second one again. Thank you and have a logical day ahead.